Hi everyone, my name's Dave Meikle and I'm joined today with the National Director of Youth for Christ, Cindy McGarvie, and the author of the new book, Lost Boys.
Hi, Dave.
Hi Cindy. Look, Cindy, we're in a culture at the moment that's absolutely rampant with porn and porn addiction. It's accessible, it's cheap, and it's on our devices, it's everywhere. And it's destroying our young men. We know the dangers of pornography, and you discuss about it in your book, but what is it about this current trend that we're seeing that's so alarming?
The alarming thing is, Dave, that 1/4 of all porn users are under 18 years. So that's children under 18. And 1 in 10 porn users are children under 10 years old. And they're not just viewing what we would imagine as normal porn. They are viewing hardcore and violent porn.
At what age would you say the research shows that people are being exposed to this?
Well, research varies a little bit, but generally they say around 11 years old. For me, when I've been interviewing these young men for my book, many of them were far younger than that, some as young as 6 and 7.
Wow. So how do they get access to this? Because children this young, they can't just go into a store and buy a magazine. So where is this all coming from?
Yeah, well, they're viewing it on their devices, mostly on their phones. They're even viewing it on their phones in the playground. And so this is really, really alarming.
And that was one of the alarming things I read in the book, was that they are accessing it in the playground. But then it's also when you think about the research around pornography being as addictive as heroin even, and these children are consuming it, it must be doing something to their psychology and their chemistry in their brains.
Yeah, it is. And researchers are saying that it causes boys to look at women with callousness. And so it really feeds into that negativity and violence toward women. So it is not good for our culture and our society.
Yeah, and because we're seeing that violence happening with these young children, it's happening in the playgrounds, it's happening, in those sorts of areas. One of the other alarming things I found was that these are children assaulting children.
Yes, child-on-child sexual assault, which is on the increase. In fact, in the UK, there was a 400% increase in child-on-child sexual assault. And the experts are saying that it's directly related to pornography.
Wow. And you also can see that adults, you've got to have a blue card. You've got to have some kind of check in place if you want to be working with children. And yet, if the abuse is happening by other children, then how do we prevent this from happening, or how do we even track it because it's not being reported?
Yeah, that's a good point. So, as you said, as adults, to have access to children, we have to have a blue card and we have to have a background check. But other children are assaulting other children on the playground, and there's nothing that anyone can do about it. So as a parent, that's a really scary thing. And also, teachers can't be supervising every child, every single child on the playground to ensure that this doesn't happen. It's really scary.
So Cindy, why discuss pornography in your book?
I discuss pornography in my book because it's having a detrimental effect on our society and our communities. It has a detrimental effect on young men and their ability to have intimate relationships. It has a detrimental effect on marriages because it's one of the major contributors to marriage breakup. It has a detrimental effect then on families because it contributes to family breakup. And so it's so important that we tackle this issue of porn.
Yeah. So in your book, Cindy, the book is called Lost Boys, Bring Them Home, and you draw on some of your military experience as well in terms of understanding the enemy's tactics. Do you want to quickly talk about that?
So Dave, with my military background, I learned that you have to have a strategy to win a war. And part of that strategy is understanding the situation. And the situation that we're seeing with pornography is devastating. We have to understand it from every angle before we can fight it. And that's what I lay out.
Yeah, so the book is fantastic. It's a book of hope. It's a book of that there is freedom available, and that by understanding the enemy's plans, we can actually win. And so I think it's a really exciting book. I think it's well worth reading. And so if you are interested in reading this book, you can go to lostboys.org.au and you can purchase it today.